Hello and welcome to Laurice's Kitchen. We're updating another season 1 episode, and today it's cinnamon rolls. One of my family's favorite sweet rolls for any and all reasons. It may become your family's favorite too. I'm making sweet rolls, so this should all look very familiar. I've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour in my mixing bowl. To that, we're going to add a very generous half cup of white sugar, along with a generous 1/4 cup of vital wheat gluten. This is 2 teaspoons of kosher salt and 2 packets of instant yeast. Now, if you're just measuring, that's 1½ tablespoons. We're going to mix this with 2 cups of very warm milk. This is probably between 115 and 120 degrees. Eventually, we're going to add in a ½ cup of butter and 2 large eggs. This is going to become our sponge. Now, once that mixes for a while, we're going to continue adding in all-purpose flour until we reach the dough consistency that we want, which is very soft and slightly sticky. I'm just going to mix these together by hand, and then we're going to add the milk. We're going to mix this by hand because if I put this on the mixer, all the flour would fly everywhere. Okay, this is ready to go on the mixer. Okay, we're getting ready to add our extra flour and change over to the dough hook. We're going to start with 1½ cups of all-purpose flour. First, however, I'm going to scrape down the sides. Okay, it's stuck on one side, so I'm gonna just use the dough hook. There we go. Okay, I just want to see where we're at here. Okay, this is still incredibly sticky, so we'll probably go with at least another ½ cup before it's going to turn into a dough. Okay, we want this dough to stay very soft. Okay, it's not that sticky. I'm going to let this run for another probably 2 or 3 minutes and then we'll take it out. Alright, unlike all my other bread, I am going to flour this surface because this dough still is fairly sticky. I'm going to get it all out. Okay, I'm going to knead this into shape. And by shape, I mean a ball. You can see how soft this is. Okay, this is going in my greased bowl. We're going to grease one side, turn it over, grease the other. This is going in my unheated oven to rise. Mostly it's to keep the cat hair off of it and because it's not drafty in there. In the wintertime, I put a pan of very hot water in the oven to make it hot and moist in there. To turn our sweet rolls into cinnamon rolls, I have softened butter and a cinnamon sugar mixture. This is probably 1/4 cinnamon to 3/4 sugar. Okay, first we're going to punch this down and then cut it in half. Okay, this half is going to get rolled out into a large rectangle. Okay, and now we are going to just cover this with this soft butter everywhere except for about 1 inch at the top here because we need this to be able to stick when we roll it up. Okay, and then we're going to roll this up as tightly as possible. Okay, instead of using dental floss to cut this up, which I think is ridiculous, we're going to use just a small serrated bread knife. We do need to cut off the ends here. Don't throw them away, they're delicious. And then we're going to cut this into 12 pieces. And I like to put all 24 of these on the sheet at one time, in one sheet. Okay, now it's the other half of the dough. These are going back in this unheated oven to rise for another 35 to 45 minutes. These are done rising now. I have the oven preheating to 375 degrees. Once it heats up, these are going in the oven for 18 minutes. While I'm waiting for the oven to heat up, I'm going to put together the icing that's going on top of these cinnamon rolls. I've got about 3 tablespoons of very soft butter here. I'll probably add between 1.5 cups and 2 cups of powdered sugar and maybe up to a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. We need all 3 of those things so that this icing melts properly. Okay, this needs to be about the consistency of peanut butter. While these are still hot, we need to get the icing on them so that it melts properly. Okay, no matter how much you want to try these right now, we have to wait at least a half an hour for them to cool down. It's time to give one of these a taste. And we gotta get it out of the pan. I know these are gonna be so good. So velvety, still warm, delicious.